Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Days and welcome to today's unseen video. This is where we round up all the big talking points from social media. And of course, a lot of the biggest talking points were on Raw. We saw that Logan joined up with The Vision. We think that's just for Survivor Series. We don't think it's long term, but it could be long term. But if you want to kind of dig into Raw and all the talking points and all the bits and bobs, there's a 20-minute video that's already on the channel, been up for a good few hours by this point. This is going to focus more on rumor, speculation, online chatter, and there's quite a bit actually that's gone down in the past 24 hours. Talking of Survivor Series, this poster, right, which pretty much confirms that we're going in the direction we thought. So we've got Bronson, Heyman. Good to see a couple of young guns on the poster. And so, obviously, it's long been rumoured that we're going to get, like, a version of the Bloodline taking on a version of the Vision. We know that Seth and Jacob are out with injury, but it looks like Logan is in. We're expecting Brock, maybe an Austin Theory. We're expecting Jay, Punk, maybe LA Knight, maybe Jimmy. These are the kind of names that are being mentioned for the War Games match this year. And this pretty much confirms that that is the direction that we're going in, which, as we said, is no great surprise. But this poster definitely getting attention. Lots of people tagging me in this. So Silverback, thank you. It was yours that I included. So here, a show so big and a match so brutal, it could only be held in a stadium. You don't rise to the moment, you survive it. A history-making Survivor Series War Games takes place on Saturday, November 29th. So that coming from Triple H. Right, moving on, we've got this. Robbie, thank you. So I think this was from Wrestling Observer Live, the radio show. They've heard that there probably won't be surprises for the Royal Rumble. And they're saying the reason for that is because the Royal Rumble's in Saudi Arabia. It's very hard to sneak people into Saudi Arabia. It's a hell of a long flight. And obviously that means they've got to go to the airport. They've got to get on the flight. They've got to get off in Saudi Arabia. It's very hard to do that without being detected by the fans. Obviously, there's going to be journalists everywhere and all of that. So surprises and keeping surprises quiet, very, very difficult. So this is why there probably won't have surprises for the Rumble, which is obviously going to be a massive, massive blow. I mean, to be honest with you, I think this is why the Rumble is so loved. Yes, of course, the winner gets to go to WrestleMania, and we want to know who that's going to be, who's going to fight for one of the world titles. But I think it's really the surprises that people get more excited for. They want to know if there's going to be any legends that pop up. You know, anyone we've not seen in a while, like an MVP or a Diesel, you know, or a Boogeyman or something like that, right? You just never know, do you? And now, you know, we're working with TNA, we're working with AAA, you've obviously got NXT, so there's legends as well. So I kind of hope that this is them just sort of, you know, throwing us off the scent. I think what we can say is there will be very, very limited surprises. I think we can say that, if any at all. I certainly don't think this thing's going to be full of surprises. But are we really not going to get any? Is this report accurate? That will be such a shame if true. But I can understand it. As we said, so hard to sneak people into Saudi Arabia. Christopher, thank you. So, again, Wrestling Observer Live. People have been speculating about Donald Trump and Vince McMahon being at John Cena's final match. I think that you will get a lot of people attending this. A lot of celebrities and friends of John. I think it was Edward Brown that got in touch with me and said, could Batista be there? Apparently Batista's a really good friend of John's. I think there's potential for that. Absolutely. You know, I think that a lot of people are going to want to be here. I mean, this is a massive deal. And there's a lot of people whose careers are really tied in with John's, you know. So, yes, I would imagine there will be a lot of legends in attendance. I'm really torn. I think Vince goes. I really think he goes. I think him and John are actually genuinely friends, right? So I think he goes. I don't think, though, WWE are going to want to show Vince. I don't think they're going to want that distraction. So I wonder if Vince goes in like an executive box, kind of stays in the shadows and really stays out of the way. Maybe even arrives mid-show to avoid being detected and then goes, you know, and hides from the fans. No way do I think WWE show him on camera. No way. Right? So I do not expect to see Vince, but I would not be shocked to find out, did you know Vince was actually there? Like, that wouldn't shock me. Donald Trump's an interesting one because I think he used to love wrestling. And I don't know if he kind of grew out of it. Not grew out of it, but like moved on to MMA instead. I mean, it's very clear that his passion is MMA now. I mean, he goes to those pay-per-views on a fairly regular basis, actually. A couple of times a year, he will show up at the UFC shows. And there is a UFC show taking place at the White House. Like, he used to love WWE. I think he has now moved on to UFC. I don't know that he's got a particular affection for John Cena. So, I don't know. I know he's got a good relationship with TKO because they, of course, own the UFC and he loves the UFC. And he's, of course, a WWE Hall of Famer. He helped put on WrestleMania 4, WrestleMania 5. He was in the Battle of the Billionaires. Like, he's got a real history with WWE. I just don't know if this is an event that he would go to. I don't think it is. But if TKO asked, look, would you mind? We'd really appreciate it. I wonder if it's one that he does go to. So I really don't know about Donald Trump. I think it's more likely Vince goes than Donald Trump. But yes, no words on that as to whether they are or aren't, but lots of chatter about those two being in attendance. Right, next up, Kian, thank you. Cody Rhodes said his next contract will probably be his last. Not a great surprise. I think ages ago he said that he was looking to wrap up at the age of 40. Next contract probably takes him to, 43, 45? Obviously, he's in the best period of his career. Why would you walk away right now? You know, what we do over these next few years are going to be, things that he's remembered for. So, yeah, I think this makes sense. Interesting. Right, what else is interesting is this. Sheamus talking about how he would love to face John, how they faced in 2009, and it was obviously massively important for Sheamus. And he says, I'd love to repay him for what he's done for me. I learned a lot from John. We wrestled, all the time. He was saying that they had to do all these live events. And he says, we wrestled pretty much every night at live events. We were on the road 5 days a week. It was a baptism of fire. I've taken 2 titles off John, and what a better way to send him off with the banger of bangers. The goat of goats goes out with the banger of all bangers. It's good, to be honest. I wouldn't be down on Sheamus, John. It's not what I would be looking for, because I just think that we've got an opportunity to really help someone that's an emerging talent or a younger talent. I think Sheamus's career is pretty much done by this point. This would be a lovely chapter, though, wouldn't it, for Sheamus? And one thing you're going to get from Sheamus is everything. I mean, he prides himself on delivering bangers. And John going out with a final banger, I mean, that is tempting. I got to tell you, man, if they announced that Sheamus was the last opponent, and it isn't, it's believed to be Gunther, it's not what I'd be looking for, but I certainly wouldn't be complaining, right? Someone that I do like to complain about is this guy right here. I think we all complain about him. This is Logan, and as we said, he is been the big focus of this week's Raw. This was a very Logan-heavy Raw, being in the open, teasing a face turn, coming back out at the end, looking like he was going to stand shoulder to shoulder with Punk, only to then punch Punk in the face with brass knucks, and seemingly align with the Vision. Some people wondering if this is the latest Paul Heyman guy, which would be huge for Logan. Absolutely huge if he was to be a permanent member of the Vision. I don't think he is. I think it is just for Survivor Series. But, well, we're going to have to wait and see. Okay, next we've got 5 posts, a little bit lengthy, but they are really interesting. This is Triple H talking about booking. There's a couple of things in here that I've got to say about this because there's a couple of little frustrations, nothing massive, but yeah, he says basically that he sees WWE more like Marvel than UFC. He says they're more about stories than they are just putting 2 people together to put on a banging match, right? He says there's months of planning. Right now we're looking at WrestleMania in April, and what are those matches going to be, and how are we going to get there? What is the storyline arc that gets us there over time? I'd say we're more akin to Marvel, where you're planning out long term, than maybe like UFC, where it's like, we're going to take that guy, we're going to take that guy, let's do the fight. And I would agree with that. I do think there is a little bit of that, though. I mean, if you look at Sami Zayn's Open Challenge, I think that was a bit, let's have that guy against Sami, right? because that'll be a great match, you know? Let's do Javon Evans versus Sami Zayn. Let's do Shinsuke Nakamura versus Sami Zayn. I mean, those, you know, we did those because we knew they would bang. Let's do Nathan Frazier against Ilya Dragunov because we know that's going to bang, right? So I think there's times where we do that. But yes, I think my pushback here would be brilliant that you're focused on stories. Love that. We're all a big fan of the stories, but can they just get better? You know, if we look at the Vision story this year, it's not been very exciting. If you look at John's heel run, it's not been deemed very successful. And actually, you would even get other people saying, where are the stories, you know? Right, it's amazing to me when I walk through the White House over the last few months, just how many people in the White House are huge fans of WWE. He was speaking to the All In podcast, which I'm quite surprised at. I mean, I don't know that that's AEW related. It's probably not, but just that name alone, I'm surprised that that's the show he appeared on, right? But yeah, I wouldn't test this. Those people that say they're huge fans, I wouldn't go up to them and go, really, what was your favourite match from Evolution this year? What did you think about the Andre the Battle Royal winner this year? Yeah. What did you think about the cash-ins that we did for Naomi and Seth? Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't test it. I think you're going to get some pretty blank expressions coming back. I think there's a lot of niceties that have been said here, you know? Oh, Triple H. Oh, yeah, love WWE. Oh, lifelong fan, right? I wouldn't check that. I wouldn't ask any questions on that. Just take the compliment and move on. Right, Triple H has touted the diversity. I do like this, by the way, comment, right? 50% of or more of our audience is a child or a family member, right? Comes with a child or a family member. 40% is women. We're one of the most diverse sports or entertainment products. The thing I love the most is when we're panning the crowd, I see a grandfather with the kids and the grandkids. You know, the grandfather was in Bruno Summer. This makes me laugh because I love Bruno and I talk about Bruno a lot. And it seems like I've been lumped in with the grandfathers, right? You know, the grandfather was into Bruno Sammartino. You don't say a flipping word, right? And the dad was into The Rock or Stone Cold. The kids now are into Roman or Rhea. It's amazing, and it binds the families together, right? I like that comment. I thought that was good. I got a bit of a problem with this comment, right? So Triple H talking about booking heels. He said, no one's perfect. And he basically said, we've all got good and bad in us. Some people are a lot bad. Some people are a lot good. 50-50, vice versa, blah, 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 right? So I've got a saying in what we do right now. As long as the bad guy, the heel, is justified somewhere in his mind that what he's doing is right, that leads to the best heel. I disagree. I actually disagree, and I can use an example, Drew McIntyre. I can use another example, Kevin Owens. And the reason why is because both of those come out, they tell their truth that they are adamant about, that there's a conspiracy against them, and that they really believe that they are being, you know, overlooked and held down, and, you know, it's corporate Cody and all this kind of stuff, right? And the problem you've got is there's a lot of people in the audience that can see their point of view. There's a lot of people that could understand what Kevin was saying and they were like, no, he's right. And there's a lot of people that listen to Drew and go, no, he's right. Well, that does not lead to the best heels, does it? If you've actually built up sympathy for them. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing a lot of people wanting to support Drew because they do believe in what he's saying. Just like last year, at the end of last year, when Kevin was saying something similar about how he was being mistreated, people were like, yeah, he is. So I do push back on this. I think, and I can't believe I'm saying this, one of the most important things about heels has actually been sort of, I don't want to say overlooked, but I don't know why we're not building up more heat. Like, that's the most important thing for a heel, is to be booed and hated. And you do that by going off on the crowd, ripping up fan signs, you know, having the odd comment with someone in a front row, just whatever, really, to just try and get that heat. Go off on the local sports team. I mean, that's cheap, but just do whatever you've got to do to just get the boos. And then if you want to say your point of view, well, the crowd aren't going to go with you then, are they? Because they hate you, you know? If Logan Paul comes out and says how he's being mistreated and overlooked, all I'm doing is booing him. I'm not going to sit there and go, yeah, I see his point of view. I get what this guy is saying. It kind of feels like we're doing this, but we're not doing what I think is more important, and that's getting heat and getting the boos and getting the fans to turn on you and despise you as a heel. So I think this is really interesting. He said, if 90% of the world disagrees with you, but you believe, no, you're all wrong, I see it this way, you can run down that road. You're not just trying to curl your moustache and be a bad guy tying people to the railroad tracks. It's real. You feel it and it's real. And that's why you want to get to that place, right or wrong, for most people. I mean, I don't mind some of those comments, but I go back to what I said before. Like, you've got to get the heat. I don't know we necessarily lead society. I wouldn't want to think that, but I do think we reflect it. There was another comment from Triple H. He says, gimmicks don't work in WWE anymore. And he said the reason for that is because of the internet. Like, you know, back in the day, you would have a Canadian pretending to be a Russian, and you just can't do that anymore. And I would say with that example, I understand. I mean, I feel like you look at Bray Wyatt, you look at the Firefly Funhouse, you look at The Fiend, you look at, you know, Wyatt Sicks and the work that Nikki Cross is doing. You know, I kind of look at these things and I'm like, no, I think you could still get some gimmicks working. I'm pretty sure you could still get some gimmicks that would land. Maybe not to the extent of what we saw back in the 80s, but I think there's still scope to do something. I certainly wouldn't throw it just all away, so... Very, very interesting, though, with comments from Triple H. I think that all-in pod interview is definitely going to be worth a watch. Right, that was a lot. That was quite heavy, wasn't it? We can jump into other. So, yeah, this has kind of been doing the rounds. I don't know how it didn't make it into yesterday's Unseen. Must have been an oversight. But Tatanka told Bill Apter at WrestleBinge his sons are training at the dungeon with Natalya and TJ. And he said Triple H saw them and fast-tracked them to the PC. Matt Bloom called them two studs. So apparently they are, I don't know that they've come in yet, but they are on the way. They are coming in to the Performance Center. So Tatanka calls out Roman Reigns, saying there's a new bloodline coming. So I thought that was really good. Really interesting. John, thank you. I think when you've got a little flash of color, it looks great. I think that looks so good with the red. I mean, they could have done that in just gold, but they've got this little flash of colour on there of red. I think it really pops. I really do like that. I really do like that. So there we go. Those are CM Punk's new side plates. Right, next up, we've got Lilian Garcia. She's announced that she's engaged. So many congratulations to her. Hayden, hope you're doing well, buds. Right, and here's John Cena's farewell merch. So that is what he's got for Boston. Obviously, is from Boston. We thought this is where he was going to like wrap things up in Boston. It's not to be. It's going to be in Washington instead. So, you know, this is gonna hit hard, isn't it? Him being in Boston. I think that's just next week as well. Massive Raw. Massive Raw. Last time that John Cena's in Boston. Wow, that's a big one. That is a big one. And this is the merch that they've got set up for it. Right, let's have a look in fun, shall we? See what we've got in here. Yeah, okay, this is Mick Foley enjoying the Wyatt house at the Halloween Horror Nights. And he's entering into this compound, the Wyatt compound. It's really good, isn't it? Seeing Mick Foley doing this kind of walk through. Obviously, there's been loads of footage of this. I'm sure you've seen all of these little videos. But, yeah, it's really special seeing Mick Foley kind of walking through, getting a bit scared. As you've got plenty of actors that, like, jump out at you, you know? I think there's a few more jump scares in here. There we go, there's a big one. There was a big one that got Mick Foley. He's bringing out the ninja skills. You see the karate is coming out now. He's ready, mate. He was born for this. So going through, I think we get into the Funhouse in a second. I have watched this through already. I thought it was so good. There's Nikki. Must be so weird when you know some of these people. You've been around these people, you know. It must be so strange to kind of walk through this experience. So coming into this part now, I think this is a bit like White Rabbit into kind of Funhouse. And look at this. I can't believe how many actors there are that actually, you know, take part in this. And look what he spots now, right? There, look, reflected on the glass is a picture of him from the Funhouse. And he wants to, look, that's me, that's me. How many TV shows has this guy been on? And here he is like, that's me, that is. Still marking out that there's a picture of him in this thing. He loves it. He loves it. So good. This is so good. That's cool as well, isn't it? With she just gets paid to do that all day. Mate, I'm in the wrong job. I am so in the wrong job. And there we go. That was the full walkthrough. I thought that was brilliant. So 3, 2, 1, screw. Really appreciate that, my friends. Really, really good. I thought that was brilliant. Right, next up, we have got this. So, John, thank you. Here's Brandi saying, I waited a long time for you, little Bran. So there we go. Brandi Rhodes has got a figure. Ultimate edition. There's Cody. There's Brandi in special packaging and everything. So there we go. She's thrilled that she's got herself a Mattel figure. Shay, thank you. Here's Triple H. Yeah, backstage. Well, actually, at the White House. I'm at the White House, Bruce. Just send Logan Paul out there, right? That is how it felt on this week's Raw, wasn't it? New landscape. And that new landscape was a bit of a flipping tease of a face turn for Logan, only for him to then turn on CM Punk at the end. So this was the new landscape, said Jake Reigns. So, new landscape. Who is it? Ba-ba! I thought that was a great meme. Robbie, thank you. I enjoyed that. Right, yeah, check this. So here is some screeching, if I can. Oh my god. Here's Rhea's reaction when she saw Shrek. Here it. What? Let's have a look. Right. How did she not notice that at first? Right. I love the facial expression though. Look. This is my show. Dude, when that camera pans round and it's Shrek, that is amazing, isn't it? It looks so good. I don't know about you, but I was like, okay, show me. What's she looking at? I couldn't believe it when it was that good. Right, that was the fun folder. We didn't have anything in community today, but we've got plenty in thanks. The support that you guys show this video series is so appreciated. If you've not left a like on this, leave a like. I did look the other day. We're not getting to like 500 likes. That would be a good starting point. So if you've not hit that thumbs up, hit the thumbs up. It really is appreciated. And don't forget, we'll be back later for NXT. So Dark Phoenix tease, Steve Munson, Babs the Barbarian, KC Punk, Kanon, Edwards, It's Kaz81, Huddle Talk, Elite Pro Wrestling Forum, Mr. T1000, Real Wrestling Fan, The Wrestling Warrior, Chanel, Wrestling Voids, Wrestling's Biggest Fan, Chris Knowles, Claire Webb, James, Kelly the Wise Lady, Silverback, Babs the Barbarian, It's Kaz, Dark Phoenix Tees, Timmy the Man V2, Edward, Sweet Chim Wrestling, and Chris Knowles. There we go. Really appreciate the support. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Quite a bit in here, I thought. Don't forget, we are back later, of course, as we said, with NXT, and we'll have another Unseen for you as well. So thanks for watching. Bye for now.